What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and today we are looking at the Union Berlin Borussia Dortmund 5 takeaways episode. And yeah, I don't really know what to say, if I'm being completely honest with you. That was a dismal effort. I was excited for this little idea of having a nice community 5 takeaways. I just felt like it would have been fun, would have been something that we obviously could have done together, but instead they go out there and put that showing in. So, I mean, it's our 5 takeaways segment. You guys are very familiar with it, but it's going to be probably a lot more than 5 takeaways from today's game, because I'm just going to obviously go through basically as many as I see fit until we basically run out. And obviously we're going to have a lot of you guys tuning in and talking about what the hell that was. I mean, there was a couple of obviously pretty cool things that happened in Mukuku's goal, so I mean, we'll give him a huge shout out for that, but there's a lot in that game that I don't know. I don't know what to say. I wish I could have done the watch along with you guys. Actually, I kind of don't, because I was swearing pretty intensely, and that should, that shouldn't be on here. So I mean, we're gonna jump onto Twitter first. I have it pulled up for you guys mainly because that's where I was gonna put it first. So I just want to make sure that we attend these little takeaways before I jump on into the chat. I'll try to be as quickly as I can. So some of you guys said, and maybe I should read them before I just completely throw them on screen. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna read them first. I don't know what you guys put.
So some of you guys said
those ones are fine right here. But let's go over into your guys' comments. So we're gonna start off by saying, thinking our problems would disappear with Faber leaving was naive of me. Yeah, man. Very true. I mean, the tactics still look a little bit all over the place, and one game isn't gonna change it. Yes, we won the Bremen game. I was being a very positive person about it because I was excited that we won it, but in reality, it wasn't a very convincing effort. We won 2-1 against a team that's been struggling, and now we go on to Union Berlin, who, to be fair, is in relatively good form. But there's a lot of little individual issues. But I mean, I don't want to get into it. This was a community 5 takeaways. These aren't going to be my takeaways. I can tell you a little bit of thoughts on it, but I want to mostly get your guys' opinion. Truly pathetic performance. And I think that pretty much sums up what we saw today. We even have producer T in here. Look at that nice smile on the guy. At least we got to see Mukuku score. So Taylor's got the glass half full. It was a bullet. So I mean, this is gonna be a very negative episode. There's no hiding any of that. So I mean, we can look at the positive thing, and what a rocket it was. They said the 16-year-old had a ton of talent. We already knew that, but we finally saw it at the highest level, seeing a finish like that, hit first time, rocket at the top of the net. The kid has got a left foot, that's for sure. So it was super cool to see him score that goal. Absolutely it was, but I don't know about you guys, I feel pretty dead right now. I feel a little bit dead inside because it's just, I don't know, it's unexplainable. Our record now is, 7-1-5? That is just awful. And it's giving me so many flashbacks to the season before Favre come in, where we finished in 8th place. Sorry, not 8th place, we finished in 4th place, but we slipped down, I think, to as low as 8th. It was just an all over the place season. It was a switch in coaches, so yeah, that was pretty pathetic to be honest. And like you just mentioned there, it was bittersweet, but it was bittersweet because we got to see obviously our Wunder kid hit a bullet of a goal, but in reality we're probably going to slip out of the top 4 come the end of obviously the new year, and we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out something, because there was so much in that system that wasn't working. And it's too bad they couldn't get it done today though. Mukuku is a bright spot on a tough day. Chuckles, that is absolutely fair. He was a bright spot, but to be honest, I probably feel a little bit dead. I'm trying to get energized a little bit, but it was a game you cannot win. I mean, a game you cannot drop points like this. Like the Bundesliga title, I mean, if people thought that we had any other chance for it, it disappeared. I think it disappeared a few weeks ago, but we're going to be fighting for top 4, and that can be a struggle looking at the way that this team just cannot create chances. Dan says, I'm disappointed by today. I am too. Filippo Silva says, when will Dortmund get a new coach? They will get a new coach come next season. Obviously, Jesse Marsch as well as Rose are probably the 2 heavy favorites, but I mean, I don't know about you guys. We thought that maybe Terzic could come in and wake this team up a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what it is that we need here. but it's got to be something. Tyler comes in and says, congrats on 1.3K. I don't know how you got here so quick, LOL. Well, Tyler, thank you guys so much. And to anyone who's obviously a new viewer around here, I mean, let me know if you came over from Adrian's channel, because I definitely appreciate the subscription. And obviously, you're going to see what our community is going to have to deal with after a performance like that. And Payne is here. We're not making it into the next UEFA Champions League. I wouldn't say that quite yet. I mean, there's the big three now, because we're clearly not catching up with them, is Bayern, it's Leverkusen, and it's Leipzig right now, and they're taking a good jump away from us in points. We are slipping down a lot, and more than likely we'll be, I think, probably 5th if Wolfsburg gets a result, which is just not good enough, and you get a little bit of momentum and then a disappointment. But Dan says Terzic is not ready for the Dortmund job. I'd say get Pochettino for January. And again, if we didn't go for Pochettino or Allegri, for example, those two right now, we're not going to go for them at all, period, because obviously the language issue was just a big enough thing to not suggest that we're going to go for them. Pochettino, I agree, would be a good manager and a good fit here at Borussia Dortmund, but that's not going to happen. We're going to have to see out the season with what we've got. We're going to have to pray that the team and Terzic can figure out their tactics, get the things together, and obviously try to push for a top 4 finish, which has to be our goal. And then depending on how the rest of the season go, I mean, he's been in charge for 2 games. He's going to have a nice little break here after our midweek cup game to hopefully try to get a little bit of cohesion. I don't even know how to say it, but he's got to get the team working together right now, because even the last 15 minutes of the game, right after the Union went up 1-0, it was a tough watch. We created absolutely nothing. There was no real target man. There was no idea what exactly we were doing. It was kind of kick and hope, and the Union Berlin defenders, from what I saw, were just reading it. I mean, the balls were in the air, and they were easily defending it, and it just kind of seemed like they saw out the game relatively easy. So it was a real disappointment. Tyler Tabor asked if Filippo was a real one. He's definitely not. He's definitely not. Or is he? I don't know. We'll have to see. The player played poorly. It wasn't the coach's problem, and we've seen a lot of people saying that today. A lot of people have been reaching out to me saying, like, we thought that Faber was the big problem. And now we're starting to see that it's deeper than that. There's a real issue here with our team right now, and trying to play together, play as a team, and just I don't know. There's sometimes you're just at a loss of words, because that was a game out there that just offered a whole lot of nothing. The only reason that I'm even able to just have a little bit of a bright spot right now is because Moukoko hit that screamer. But in reality, those were 3 massive drop points, and now it puts us in a real dangerous position trying to challenge for a top 4 finish, which is the bare minimum going into a season that we have to try to achieve. I was swearing a lot during the match, to be fair. I was too. I was swearing like crazy. Steve is here, says congrats on 1.3 subs, mate. Steve, thank you, my friend. You've been here for a long time. It's awesome seeing all you guys subbing. I mean, I'm trying to, again, seem very happy about it, but it's a dark little time right now. And it's annoying, and I don't know exactly what to do. But Roberto said that Union don't mess around, man. Bayern can tell you. Yes, and we should know that going in, that this Union Berlin team is nothing to be taken lightly. They took in 3 points of us all last season in a comfortable 3-1 win. They've been playing, for them, fantastic, considering they were in the 4th tier of German football not that long ago. And it's just frustrating, and it's more of a tease is what it is. For me, going in and trying to hope that the team would receive some type of a wake-up call by the new appointment and the sacking of Favre. The bounce-back game technically happened, but I don't know how much you want to call that a bounce-back game, considering the fact that it wasn't overly convincing, and neither was today's performance. Siva says that he is not angry, he's just disappointed, as am I, my friend. All of them lasted. Dan says, I never saw Terzic as a proper manager. And we can't, it's not fair to come up with an actual fair assessment of Terzic yet. He's very new to this. We got to give him a little bit of time. He's going to have the rest of the season, in my opinion, to try to figure out his tactics, really discover who he is as a manager and what he can offer going forward. But more than likely, it's going to be the same situation. If Terzic can't turn this result and can't turn this team around, it'll be the same type of result when Favre got appointed. It was Peter Bosz, who's now Lucien Favre, getting sacked. In comes Peter Stoger. In comes Edin Terzic to just try to steady the ship for as long as they can and get that top 4 finish, which is basically all you need, which almost indicates to the fans that this season is a write-off. Right now, that is our main goal, but it's not. We still have a ton of time right now to be able to hopefully turn something around. The top 4 is obviously the number 1, goal we have to set for ourselves. But we still have the cup and we still have the Champions League. So there's still a lot of to play for right now. But just in reality is it's going to be a tough season. You can't sack your manager and expect to win the treble. As I say that, I know Bayern Munich did it, but in reality, you don't usually see that. And we're starting to see that right now. 2 games in, and we just feel deflated. I swear you were talking about almost being at 1K subs a few days ago, and now you're at 1.3. Amazing. Well, thank you, my friend. I really, really appreciate that. That is very kind of you. Yeah, I mean, we did the collaboration video with Adrian from JJD TV, which is fantastic, which obviously where a lot of the subs come from. But I mean, I'm glad you guys hopefully like the content that we're coming up with and trying to grow our BVB community here. Luca, I don't know if you're in the chat. I'm gonna find out. There's a lot of chat going on. But if you guys are in the Discord, Luca was killing me today. He was replicating what it would be like to I guess talk as if he was me. So it was pretty funny. So Luca, a big shout out for me. Made me sound like a goof, but it was actually absolutely spot on. It did really crack me up. Agents is here and says, my heart is broken. I genuinely thought we could win. Pathetic. And harsh, but fair, because that is kind of my reaction as well. It's a game we can't be dropping points, especially with, you think the change in management, obviously the decent performance / 3 points we took midweek. But another thing that we got to realize, and I saw a lot of people talking to it before the game, was the fact that we were going to go with a lot of players that have got a lot of minutes. Why is Thomas Meunier coming directly back into that starting 11 when he's been, again, arguably our worst player? He just strolled back right in, took Marai's spot like absolutely nothing, and I thought Marai had a pretty decent effort when it came to the Bremen game. And it just baffles me, even whether it was Favre, Terzic, I don't know what it is with Thomas Meunier being able just to stroll into the starting 11 and then put in the shift he did today. It's just mind-blowing. And Luca, because you cracked me up and he was talking about how funny it was to talk about Dahoud. I talk about Dahoud a lot on the channel. And in reality, he started 4 games this season, and he's played a total of 5, which is unacceptable for me. I'm not saying he's going to be the game-changing, but considering the amount of minutes we need to play this season and the amount of games that come so quickly, and Dahoud was in good form, and he's just one example. Why are we playing a lot of the same players who aren't in excellent form? The starting 11 was a little surprising for me. A lot of people were upset with, obviously, Thomas Meunier. If one of those two were coming back and jumping right into starting 11, why wasn't it Delaney? It was, and that comes down to management, and that absolutely does. And Terzic, unfortunately, today got it wrong, and we're now obviously another 3 points behind. Moukoko and Rafa played the best today. I agree. I thought Moukoko was a bright spot. I really did. And a lot of people we were talking about before the game, I didn't think Moukoko would start. I assumed that Terzic would give him a rest because he's 16 and the back-to-back games, especially the game midweek. He surprised me. He started him up front, and that allows Royce to obviously play in the position he's the most comfortable with. I'm not saying it's going to work out every single time that we do that, but for the majority of the time, having Royce play as a center attacking mid and having an actual striker playing a striker who can do the things that he did today with that absolute bullet. He also had a couple other chances as well, so I really enjoyed that. And this is an excellent one. This was, for me, the number 1 point. And it's what is it going to take Sancho's place who's going to take Sancho's place in the lineup? Because Jadon Sancho is falling apart. He is a shadow of himself that he used to be. It's unbelievable thinking this kid put up 17 goals, 16 assists, and was a dominant force every single time he was on the pitch. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you exactly what it is. Maybe the most logical thing was the transfer rumors linking him to United. I mean, I don't know. He's just not in the game. He's not playing anything like he used to be last season, and we are struggling. The fact that Pollen's out and our big offensive outlet in Jadon Sancho is out of form. We have too many good players right now that are out of form. And that is the reason we are putting up these kind of results. We look all over the place. And like I said, that last 15 minutes spoke volumes to me. The second they scored that goal to go up 2-1, and we looked what we were trying to do out there and trying to get something going forward, it was awful. Balls were going all over the place. There was no chemistry going forward. There was no outlet. It was awful. And a lot of people, and I saw as well on Twitter, saying you can't blame Terzic. He was on the sidelines. He was energetic. He was trying to be involved, but it's not an overnight change, and it's not going to just drastically get better. And we're starting to see that. Sorry for going on a tangent, but that was an excellent point. I don't know what it's going to take, and I don't know if we can replace Sancho. We got to just bet that he's going to turn this around. He's too talented not to. Can't blame the manager. The players need to be held accountable. No drive. And yeah, I mean, the players can't find a way in themselves to get fired up, especially having a manager now that is very charismatic and is just bleeds for this club, and seeing that you can't get your players behind that. It's a personnel issue. It absolutely is. And you got to blame the manager. This is now a switch-in manager. Something is off there. 100% something is off there. And it's going to be very hard to try to obviously figure out what it is. And if we don't do it soon enough, we're going to be in a heap of trouble. But Sancho has not been good for the last few games. No, he has not. Forget the Bundesliga. Focus on the Champions League and the Pokal. Yes, 100%. You know it's bad when you see one of the coaches almost in tears. Yeah, that was a pretty emotional. Image there. If you guys did catch that as well, it speaks volumes to what the season's looking like right now, and the passion behind the club and the results that are coming out of it. It's unacceptable, and we need to definitely do something about it. Mukuku and Musala are the future legends, also Davies and Holland, but they are a lot of good small players. Yes, Mukuku is definitely shown that he's going to be one to be reckoned with in the upcoming future, but for a time there in the first half, a lot of people were putting it on Twitter that this is why Borussia Dortmund are struggling, because they don't have an actual backup striker. They're relying on a 16-year-old. Since when do we have to rely on a 16-year-old? And it's unacceptable, and then he went out and obviously hit that bullet up front. I don't really have an opinion on that, because yes, I would like to see maybe a Divock Origi come to the club and really have it be a solidified backup striker for us. But saw what Mukuku did today, and I said he's brought something extra. You can tell he's going to be a talent because he brings something different out there that some of these veterans can't do. But he is still so young, so I don't really know what the right answer is. If we need to be going out and getting a Divock Origi to just kind of help in those situations where Holland's not playing, or if we put it all behind Mukuku, which it kind of seems like the board wants to do. We have a problem with corners, yes. If I was doing my 5 takeaways in like a legitimate order, this would 100% be one of the main ones. The set piece defending was atrocious. That last goal was pathetic, and that's the proper word for it. The man marking was awful. I believe it was Hummel's man who he just let him get it free. Downward header, nobody on him. It was just awful. These kind of goals cannot go in if we're going to be competing, let alone for the championship, even for the top 4. The back line is all over the place, and that's what really made me nervous. You guys know, I preach Allegri all the time. Yeah, I know that more than likely it's not going to happen. But a defensive manager is something that I thought we needed. Terzic made it very well aware that he was going all-out attack, and when we do something like that and we don't put the ball in the back of the net, you're going to see what it looks like. And it's going to look like 2 pretty defendable goals that go in the back of our net and ended us losing a game. Last season, we had Hazard, Hakimi making the runs, and then we got Holland, but now none of them are playing. It's only Mukuku, and we need some explosive players on the wings. Malen is needed in January. Well said, my friend. We know how much we miss Hakimi. There's no getting around that. We miss Hakimi desperately on that side. And maybe that's another big reason to why Sancho obviously isn't playing like he used to. Those two linked up for fun last season. But Malen is 100% the player I would love to see us sign, especially being able to play on the wing, through the middle. It's just a check mark. That is exactly it. I say we give him whatever he wants, bring him to the club, but I don't know how realistic it is, and I assume if we're going for him, it'd be a summer signing. Dan wants to see Pochettino come in. I don't think he will. I feel bad for this team. Yeah, I definitely do too. But you gotta look at them. They're to blame right now. A switching manager can't light something up you to put a better effort in than you did today. Then it is on you. There's a personnel issue, and it needs to be resolved ASAP. And I'm hoping this little break we have coming up, we'll be able to do that. And hopefully get the cup win just to get a little bit of momentum going there. I thought we still had a chance to win the title, but hopes are over. It's our defense, man. That's why I was preaching Allegri, even though I know it's not realistic. But yes, our title hopes are over. I don't want to be the most negative person in the world. I'm not. I'm Canadian. We like to apologize a lot. I get it. But yeah, you can't start this off like I don't know. I'm just running out of excuses for this club. The title is over. There's no way we can turn this around. I'm not trying to sound unbelievably negative, but it is what it is. I mean, it's fine. You fire your manager mid-season as long as we qualify for the Champions League next year. It'll for me will be a win, because those type of seasons you can't just expect to pull off the Hansi Flick. You can't expect it. But I take your point. It is our defense, and honestly, it's our offense too. We're not producing, but we're defending poorly, and it's just a little bit of everything. Hansi Flick won the first game and then lost the next 2, and then everything happened. Adam, it's a very fair point. That's why I'm saying I'm not trying to get unbelievably negative, but if we're looking at reality and the fact that the way the team is playing and we have too many good players that are completely out of form, don't have Haaland coming back, but he should be back early January, so you never know. But yes, it would be incredible if we pulled off a Hansi Flick, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it. Haaland's injury shows how much we depended on him, a natural striker. Moukoko is talented, but he shouldn't have had 6 goals today, and showing that he's not at the level of a championship team at this time. That was a very good topic that I was discussed with a few people, is the fact, like I said, whether it be Donny Malen, whether it be Divock Origi, an actual backup striker, or do we rely on a 16-year-old who could come up with a wonder goal like that, but then miss other chances that in these kind of games is going to matter. And again, I don't have a proper opinion on that because I think the kid is very talented, but I thought it'd be smarter just to help develop him a little longer before just throwing him right in. But I mean, he shows the kid's a baller and that he can play. But I absolutely take your point, and I don't have the right answer for you. And Tactical Manager is here, and he says you guys should sign Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I strongly disagree. I will keep Eden for as long as I can, as long as we don't get Ole. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the managerial situation is going to change day by day. We're going to be here to cover it along the way, but for my opinion, we're going to stick with Terzic to the end of the season and then probably look for Rose or Marsh. Those are the really only realistic things right now I can see. I can't take it anymore. If Wolfsburg wins, they deserve to be ahead of us because we lost to Stuttgart. Yeah, and that's fair. Wolfsburg's had a pretty decent start to the season. They do deserve to be ahead of us the way that our standards should be. We should be much, much further ahead even than in 4th place. Do you feel like the squad is quite disjointed? I know we were to go into a different sort of system, but surely the players have the capacity to let their ability carry them through games. Chuckles, that's an excellent question. You made me laugh because you're called Chuckles, but I mean, I said it a bunch of times before, the reason I thought we won so many games this season was just on pure individual talent. I don't think there's been a game for 90 minutes that I've been overly impressed. We did have that little run of form where we got those 4 clean sheets. This season, that's probably the only time I felt relatively confident with our team as a whole. Yes, I do feel like the squad is disjointed, and I don't know where it's to fix. I don't know if it's a switch in personnel. Do we get out of the 4-2-3-1? What other systems would work? I don't know exactly what it's going to take to get this team working together, but it's the fact that our best players are out of form. Jaden's, like, if you look at even pure numbers from last season, they are nothing like that. You're taking out so many goals from us. It doesn't help that Haaland's out. Our defense is leaking goals left, right, and center. And it's going to take a real switch in personnel, I think, and try to find the right 11 going forward, because clearly this isn't working for us right now. Mukuku's feet are sort of comparing to Haaland's feet. That is, he didn't get the tap in most set pieces, but I'm grateful he scored, though. And that is a fair point. That is a fair point. I'll be surprised if we keep all 3 of Sancho, Haaland, and Bellingham after January, seeing that as we're regressing. I don't believe we're going to sell any of those players in January, but the summer, you never know. I see Haaland being with us for a little bit longer. Sancho now, I think his future is very up in the air, especially given on form. And Bellingham, I can see us keeping for a few more years as well. Dan says he'd be happy with the top 4 finish. I'm still looking to win, but we just need a crazy turnaround. Absolutely agree. Siva says we have a huge game against Leipzig and Leverkusen, and we needed to win both. And that just is insane, that the schedule we have coming up and where we sit in the table right now. Like, this turn of form needs to happen quick. Otherwise, we can find ourselves in a real struggle to try to pick up a Champions League place here. We need a backup striker that we can put pressure on Moukoko. He's just 16. Like I said, I feel Donny Malen checks off everything for anything that we're targeting. I don't know how realistic it is. But watching the game and how it's so hard for Dortmund to create chances, I think Jesse Marsch is the man. Wade, like, if I was picking either Marsch or Rose, I would go for Marsch personally. But I don't have a specific manager who I believe is going to turn us around. I really don't. I don't think that Marsch or Rose will take us a step above where we're at right now. I seriously don't know what it is. And I said this many times before. I don't know what manager it's going to take to turn this team into a winning force. But Dortmund officially lost chances of winning the league. I think that's very fair. Toby said the 2-week break with Holland returning, United football countries. Hard work required over the next 2 weeks. Only positive today was Moukou's goal. Yeah, and I'm going to be looking forward to that Wolfsburg game on January 2nd, I believe. It's going to be a real do or die. We have a couple weeks off to try to, obviously, build something. Hopefully, I don't want to be too hard on Terzic, because I want him to be able to sit down with his team now over the next few weeks, try to find a system that he's comfortable playing with, that the players are comfortable playing with, having the boost of Holland coming back, and then see what we look like in a couple weeks' time. I think it'd been nice to go in with 3 points, because right now it just completely deflated the team, and it was honestly a very, very ugly watch. We were the better team. I don't agree with that today. Not at all. I don't think we honestly deserve the 3 points with the way we played today. I feel like I would have been happy with a draw at the end, but I mean, those are games we need to win, and I don't think we deserved to win today, in my honest opinion. Well, I will be a BVB fan forever, but we will not win the Bundesliga, and Sevilla will destroy us. I feel pain. Well, yeah, we're all hopefully BVB fans forever. I mean, I know we have some Bayern fans here. I can see them. But, yeah, the Bundesliga more than likely is out of reach. But it's going to have to, the next few weeks are going to really speak volumes of what this team's made of, and if we can make any type of push in the cups. But, I mean, I feel pain too, but I'm not completely writing the season off, because there is still more to play for. I'd love to win the cup. I'd love to have a deep run in the Champions League. I want something to get behind. Holland's coming back too. That makes the cups a lot more realistic, a lot more attainable, and especially if we can find a run of form. But right now it's going to look, honestly, like it's going to look like a struggle, to be perfectly honest. Do you think you can create a segment where you have discussions with fans on Discord or Zoom? Potentially. Luca, I saw you in here at some point, but you were killing me on the Discord today. You were lighting it up. He was pretending to be me. I mentioned it a couple times now, but it was actually hilarious. So if any of you guys saw Luca on our Discord today, it was really funny. It was, but maybe. I mean, I really like communicating with you guys, which is why I wanted to do this type of community 5 takeaways instead of where it's just completely my opinion. I wanted to hear what you guys had to say about the game. I was hoping to do it on a happy, positive note, but unfortunately, it was a dismal effort, and we're doing what we're doing now and seeing comments like Dortmund officially lost the chances of winning the league, which is, I think, a realistic one, but you can't expect for Dortmund to win anymore. It's just sad, not even in the 3rd division team, because we've lost against Stuttgart and Union Berlin. In our upcoming cup game, I mean, we are the favorites. There's no getting around that. We have to win that game, and if we don't, you're going to see a lot different Josh coming to the table if we get knocked out of the DFB Pokal Tuesday. But I know we're favorites against a 3rd division club. But realistically, going into most Bundesliga sides this year, it's hard to look at it. Like, I was looking at that Union Berlin game and telling myself, like, all right, let's go in with confidence. We should be the favorites. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, we're away. They beat us before. We're in dreadful form. I wasn't overly convinced by the Bremen game, considering that we looked too attacking. The defense looked weak. A lot of gaps. So, yeah, I mean, it's a fair point that I think any Bundesliga side we play right now, I don't know how high of favorites that you're going to want to put us. In a back 4, Mirai is not developing enough. Generally think that Lucas is our best option. I don't know about the right back position. That is an excellent question, though, Toby. I don't see Meunier. I see Meunier playing. I see Meunier being the starting right back going forward from now on, but unfortunately, that's just not best for the club. Mirai, I think, plays better as a wing back. So I don't know what our best option is. I'd stick with Mirai personally. Oh, you saw our little watch along on the server. Luca, you killed me, man. You did. You are a funny guy. I really did enjoy that. Producer T was dying in the background, but yeah, I like that. I like that. That was really funny. It was very, very clever. And you honestly had me almost rolling on the ground laughing. But I think Hummels has lost his form. Corners and crosses have killed us this season, and I mean killed. Agents, you made a great point, because Hummels at one point this season was irreplaceable and at the top of his game, I thought. And then I don't know if it was that little knock. He's got a couple knocks already this season. He got a knock last game. And I don't know if it's just the old legs on him. Can't really take constantly getting injured like this. I don't know what it is, but he definitely is slipping in form a little bit. But in my opinion, Hummels is not the number one things that we need to worry about right now. I think Jadon Sancho is top of the list for me. I don't know what is happening to him, but if we want anything to be able to get some type of form, we need our creative playmakers. We need those kind of players to be able to lead to chances, which in this game I thought we were lacking, because Jadon is just falling apart, to be completely honest. We need Paco back. Paco left a mark on all us BBB fans. He absolutely did. I miss him as well. Which brings up Agent's point, as Dortmund said they might get Origi or Icardi. Icardi, I mean, I might do a video on this, guys, like an actual nice edit video for you guys, but in reality, Icardi hopefully will not come to the club. Origi is a legitimate possibility. He's got the Bundesliga experience with Wolfsburg, and he's Belgium. You know, the Belgium guys do relatively well for us, but it could be a possibility. I want Donny Malen, so I mean, I'd rather just not waste any money on these players. get Donny Mallon when we're able to, and rely on Moukoko and Holland for the rest of the season. That's just my opinion. But we're going to have to see. We did pin the Discord, though, in the server. So, Luca, you funny guy. If you decided to want to see some of Luca's comedy, you guys can join our Discord, where our community keeps growing. We've obviously hit 1.3 subscribers, or 1.3K subscribers. So it's incredible seeing the community grow like that. And the Discord has been cracking me up. So well done for the majority of you. But I'm just going to go through a couple of the ones on Twitter, because that is where I put it. Give some guys a shout out, and we're going to move on and probably end the video there. But Sean says that Sancho has been an utter disaster this season, which is 100% accurate. Looks disinterested, lacking any fight. I have no idea why he hasn't been subbed off earlier to make a point. I would have yanked him off at the half-hour mark. Someone went back to the fact, I believe Sancho was taken off in the first half of a game not too long ago, and a lot of people said that shattered his confidence. I'm not saying that doing it again would be a wake-up call, but if you yank a player off who's not injured before halftime, that sets an extremely stressful message that player is not playing very well. But yes, I don't know what to do, because I want Sancho. I think Sancho needs to find his form, and I wouldn't drop him, but maybe every once in a while. I mean, he's been playing a lot of minutes. Leave him out, because I think that we have to. Axel Witsel is returning to his 2018 form. Yeah, I mean, Witzel's an interesting one, but I still think that there's so many issues in that center of the park right now, and I don't know what the best duo is. You guys keep hearing mine, but clearly no one else is. Sancho is invisible this year. Holland would have scored a hat-trick today. Yes, Ryan, he would have. Not sure if it's a talking point, but the second goal was collective on everyone. Yes, absolutely, 100% it was. The second goal was just so many different issues with that. The marking was absolutely pathetic. And it was Hummels. It was Hummels. So it's hard to see your leader like that not be able to just properly defend, which is a huge issue for me going forward. And it just screams the kind of place that we're in right now. And this can't be blamed on the coach again. So much passion from him, but you can't defend corners. You can't play football. Yes, so those are the 5 takeaways, that we had for Twitter. There's a lot more if you can't tell from the notifications, but I'm not going to get into them all because, uncensored and whatnot. I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, that's an excellent point. This is not on the coach. This is on the players not taking responsibility and not just playing as a team and not being energized. It's a little ridiculous right now, and I don't know. I don't know how you guys are going to sleep tonight, but I'm in no mood to see these kind of results continue, and it's absolutely annoying. Agent says, shout out to every other Dortmund fan that will continue to be a fan no matter what happens. That's a nice little message, and that speaks volumes to us fans, but I agree. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to see the type of games that happen like this when you start, and it's a thing, guys. Come on. I don't know how long you guys have been Dortmund fans for. This happens on the regular, where we get fired up, we see results, we see progress, disappears. See progress, disappears. This isn't new. We're going to have to stroll through it, but I'm having a lot of flashbacks to that Peter Bosz era, and I just don't like it. I really don't. We're going to hit 1 or 2 more comments here before we go on, but Agent says that he's BBB09 on Twitter. Agents, I believe I did know that, but he's got to go, he says. Thanks for the videos. My dream is for all of us to watch the UEFA Champions League final together. Well, Agents, that is quite the dream. I absolutely love it. Dortmund to get relegated, not a chance. That is all for Schalke. And Dan says, the reason I'm really disappointed this year is because if Bayern win again, it would be the 9th in a row. Well, that's why us Dortmund fans will probably be cheering for Leipzig or Leverkusen, preferably Leverkusen, to hopefully challenge them, because right now it's not looking like we are. But I believe that I am going to wrap it up there. I have one more here. It says, I've seen our players walking with the ball far too many times. Experienced manager in ASAP. And it's, like I said, it's going to be similar to the way that Lucien Favre came into the team. I believe Terzic is going to see out the contract for the rest of the year. He's going to hopefully drag us into a top 4 finish, and then we're going to target someone who wants to play a little bit of Champions League football, and we'll hopefully turn this Dortmund team around the way that Lucien Favre did come in and make a difference his first season. I just don't honestly know exactly who it's going to be, whether it's going to be the type of Jesse Marsch, Marco Rosa. I don't know who it's going to be. I'm not overly excited by either one of them right now. I don't know what it is. I just want Klopp to come back home, please. But yeah, guys, I really hope you did like this little community 5 takeaways. if you guys did, once the video is over, just comment down below and if you guys like seeing these type of community 5 takeaways instead of just me doing 5 points and then getting out of here. I like communicating with you guys. You guys hopefully know that by now. The channel keeps growing. I'm very grateful for everyone who supported the channel. A lot of you guys have been here since the very beginning and put a little bit of faith in me, and we're starting to see reward and see the community build, and it's been absolutely fantastic. So I can't thank you guys enough. I really hope you guys do enjoy the content here on JJD TV, and we're going to be continuing to be Dortmund fans. And every Dortmund fan knows that it can be a struggle from time to time, and we're in one right now. We're going to hope the boys can bounce back ASAP, and we're hopefully going to have some fun content for you guys throughout the Christmas period with the little break that we have. We got a couple things